Hi, and welcome back to Poltergeist Board Games. Today we're going to start part 2, the playthrough. I'll see about how many turns I can get in, and we'll go from there. So first off, we have all our units set up. We're ready to go. Let's just take care of some housekeeping. Our sequence of play starts off with the random event phase. And we have a random event chart, which is part of the player aids. So we're going to roll 3 dice, 3d6, and we are going to see what we come up with here. These random events sometimes will pause your units, and you will not be able to attack with them. You can only move with them. Then we have on the back side of the player aid, we have the Soviet setup. It just shows, what zones they go in and everything. And then you have the German unit setup. Then our other one has the German defense strategy chart. These are all the counters that we're going to be facing. So like, this verbal Wind is new, anti-tank trench is new, King Tiger is new, Tiger is new, Panther, Hetzer, Volkssturm, Ambush is an old one, that's a new one, that's a new one, that's an old one, and that's an old one. So quite a few new ones in this set. And then we have this, which is a phone call to Stalin, that once per turn during the combat phase, we can do this to increase the Stalin approval. And then on the back side, we have the end phase. We have the Stalin approval modifier chart, the German morale modifier chart. And then we have our supply costs. If we were to rebuy the units when they go into the out of action box up here, when they get repulsed, they go in the out of action box, and then we can repurchase them for the cost here using our supply points. These are our markers that we can use. We use our supply points to buy these, artillery and air support. So, all right, so let's get started. First thing we do is our random event, which we roll 3 dice for. So you roll 3d6, and we get a 10. So a 10 on the random event is infantry shortages. Out of action Soviet infantry units may not return to play during this turn. We do not have any in the out of action box, so that's like a non-applicable situation for us. All right, so now we do our supply phase. So we roll 4 dice. And we get a terrible roll of 9. So we get 9 in supplies. So I will move that to 9 there. And we will buy 4 artillery support. So that's 8. And that'll bring us down to 1. And we put those in the available support units. And then I'll move our thing to 1 so we can retain that point for next turn. All right, so now is our combat phase. We do not have any bloody streets, which are, if you have a stalemate, then you have to roll on that. And there's a chart here on the map for that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go around the outside here, and I want to do those battles, because if we can surround Berlin by capturing all those zones, then we get a modifier on things. So let's start. We can't go here, and we can't go in this corner here. So we'll just use these units to mop up this area, and then we'll use the units on the outside over here to do that. So the first one we're gonna go for right here is D, and we will use our D units. Let's see, we have 5, 7. Okay, so I'm gonna use 7, 8, 9. So the way you count the attack value is the lead unit, you use that value, so that would be 7. And then every unit afterwards is a 1, so that would be 8 and 9. That would be 9 for our attack value. So they are gonna get a +1. You have to kind of assume they're gonna be, a 7 maybe. So to bridge that gap, I'm gonna bring in an artillery support. So that'll make us an 11. So over on our attack value chart, I'm gonna put us down for 11. And then we're gonna look at this here, flip it over, and we have a Hetzer with a value of 6, +1 is 7. And then let's read what the Hetzer does. So the Hetzer any one attacking armored unit, Soviet player's choice, does not need to be the lead attacking unit, is removed from the area prior to combat resolution and is placed in the out of area box. If no Soviet armor is attacking, there is no effect. So we do not have any armor, they're all infantry. So that doesn't affect us, which is good. So they are a 7, we are an 11. We each roll 2 dice. So I have my 2 and their 2. So we'll roll those and then add to the value. Okay, so they got 7, so they get a 14, and we get a 6, and that makes us 17. Now the difference between us is only 3. If you get over their a value, so say we got, instead of a 3, we were at, say, 20 or above, then that would be considered an overrun, and you could keep these units flipped over as active, but and then reuse them on another turn. But we did not get an overrun, we just simply got a victory. So that that unit goes away, and we flip these over as being spent. So then we're gonna go to the next battle here. E. Now E has a tank. These are all tanks, so we're gonna, the 8 will be the lead, 8, 9, 10. And I'm not gonna use an artillery support. So let's see what we get. No, it's an ambush. So they're a 9 and we're a 10. So not good odds. And then on an ambush, place the lead attacking unit in the out of action box after combat resolution. Ignore if the combat result was a repulse or a stalemate. Okay, so we have to take him, put him in the lead, or in the out of action box after combat resolution. Let's roll our dice. 2 and 2. And they get a 5, or we get a 5. So that's 15. And they get a 4. So that's 13. So we win. But we still lose our lead unit, so he goes away in the out of action box up there. Put him there. But we do get that victory. So these are spent. That goes away. And then, there is no overrun in these areas. They only count in here, the overrun. All right, here we have a lot of tank units. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 should not need artillery support. And they have a Tiger tank plus, so that's 6 plus 1 is 7. And then a Tiger tank adds a plus 2, I believe. Yes, they add a plus 2 to their defense. So that was a 7, 8, 9. So 13 to 9. And we'll roll our dice and add them. So we got a 9, brings us to 22. And they got a 9, which brings them to 18. So we win. And we take that territory. All right, so that's as far as we can go on this side. Now we will start on the other side. Actually, we'll just go to the top up here. So we have a 7. We'll take the 7 first. So we have 7, 8, 9, 10. That one. And they get an elite 8. So they're now a 9, and we're a 10. And they have an elite. So an elite, the German side rolls 3, and then they take the lowest number out. Okay, so they roll 3, we roll 2, and then they remove their lowest score. So they get a 6. They had 2 1s, so they remove 1 1. That gives them 6, which brings them up to 15. And we had a 5, which brings us to 15. So that is a stalemate. So we're gonna have to put the Bloody Street marker there. Mark that as spent. All right, and then we'll go to the next one. The next one we have 8. Okay, so 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll keep that. So we have an 11. And then we have a Tiger. So that's a 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're both even with 11. So it's whoever has the better die roll here. All right, there's our 2 and 2. Okay, so they got a 5. So that brings them to 16, and we got a 6, which brings us to 17. So we take that territory. And let's see here. We have this last one up here. 6. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm definitely going to use a support. So we have 9 plus our 2. See, it says attack value plus 2. So our 2. So that gives us 11. And let's see what we get here. They get a panther, which is only a +1. So that's a 4, 5, +1 is 6. So that's good. Good odds. So 11 to 6. And we roll our 2 dice each. And they get a 6, which brings them to 12. And we get a 7, which brings us to 18. And so 7, so that's a 6. So that would be considered an overrun, but in those zones, they do not count an overrun. So these get marked as spent. Okay, and then we just have on the side here, we have our A and B here, which, okay, and our final piece here will be this side. We'll be going after these last 2 here. Let's see, so we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 versus elite. Great. So that's a 9, 10. And then elite, they get to roll 3 dice. So they roll 3 dice and drop the lowest value. So we have our 2 and their 3. So they drop a 3. They get a total of 7, which moves them to 17. We get 9, which moves us to 21. All right, so we won that battle. And then that goes back on there. Okay, so those are spent. And then we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 2 Panther. So that's a 7 plus 1's 8. And another one is 9. And our 2 and 2. They get 10, which puts them at 19. And we get 7, which puts us at 26. All right, so we win that one. Okay, so we have taken all of our areas that we can. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4 areas along the left side, including 1 heavy urban, which will be hard to beat. But so all we have to do is clear those out, and then we will have surrounded Berlin. So the last thing to do is the end phase. What you do is flip over all the units from their spent side to their regular side. Take away any of the support and put them back. And that actually goes back. That goes back. Okay, so all right, so we have to reduce the morale, German morale by 1, and then the Stalin approval by 1. So we reduce both of those on those tracks, and then we are set up for the next phase, which will be the random event. So that concludes part 1, or part 2. I'm sorry, part 2 of the playthrough. That is turn 1. I will do another part to do turn 2. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.